Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO and another combo tutorial today. Thank you guys so much for killing it on that last video and hitting the 15 likes on it. So on this one, we're going to keep that goal that I had on the last combo tutorial I did. If we hit 20 likes on this guy, I will start playing Dino-Mist. If we hit 40 likes, I will do that big, long scrap video for you guys. So anyways, let's continue on with the combo tutorial today. So I'm actually going to show you guys a couple different versions of this, and you guys are probably used to with my scrap decks, me doing test hands for these combo tutorials. This time around, I actually kind of have more set combos, but they do vary a lot depending on what extenders you open and just overall how things play out. So I'm going to show you a single normal combo with a 2-card hand, just one starter, one extender. There's tons of different variations, which we'll go over in a second, and then I'll do a normal test hand just so you guys can get a peek at what the deck just kind of normally performs like. So starting off here, and these combos are going to be assuming we're going first. So for the first combo here, you're going to need one starter, which can be any of these 4 cards, in total giving us 10 copies of starters, since we have 3 Recycler, 3 Raptor, and then 2 of each of these. So any of these cards will be a starter for you. And then for the extenders, we have a ton of options here. These are all extenders. Well, there's actually more extenders than this in the deck. This is kind of the less optimal version because of course the best version would be drawing a sprite name, because then that just instantly gets you into sprite combo so much easier. But these are extenders that actually still get you into sprite combo without having a sprite name in hand. What we have here in total, I believe I counted it up, it was a total of 18. We have Heavy Freight Train, Derricrane, Citadel, Ruin Force, Lily Borea, Regulus, Monster Reborn, Disc Coliseum, Redeployment, and Urgent Schedule are all 1-card extenders for us that will get us into full sprite combo. Each of them does go about doing it differently, but I'm just going to show you a basic one, and we're actually just going to do this off of Urgent Schedule here just to kind of give you the best example. So then we are going to go ahead and just do Recycler and Urgent Schedule, because essentially that's the best starter, and all of these other starters just lead to Recycler and end up doing the same thing. All right, so our opening hand is going to be Scrap, Recycler, and then just 3 random cards that we don't need to worry about whatsoever. So we're just going to set these to the side, not worry about those. So for this combo, we're going to start off, normal summon our Scrap Recycler. Go ahead and, as per usual, send that Crystron Rosenix to the grave, just like the old combos pretty much relied on. We're going to banish the Rosenix from our graveyard to go ahead and summon our token to the field. We're then going to link off our Scrap Recycler and the token, going into a Scrap Wyvern. And I've said this before with scrap decks, it is best to build on the right extra monster zone. You can do it on the left, but with just how the arrows work, most of the time the top right zone is going to be the best. And I do apologize for the little bit of glare here. I am still working and trying to get that figured out. This is indeed a Scrap Wyvern. So now we are going to, before we use Wyvern's effect, we're going to set this Urgent Schedule to our field, so that now we can use Wyvern's effect to summon Scrap Recycler, and then pop it, triggering Wyvern's second effect to now special summon Scrap Golem from the deck here. And then on resolution of that, we do have to pop a card on the field, and since our opponent won't control anything going first, we are going to pop our Urgent Schedule, which we can now use our Urgent Schedule's effect to be able to add Heavy Freight Train Derricrane to our hand as another extender. So now we can use our Scrap Golem to summon back our Scrap Recycler. We're going to Chainlink 1 Scrap Recycler, Chainlink 2 Derricrane, summon it all the way over here just so you know you have the extra room. And then on Recycler's resolution, we are going to dump the World Legacy World Crown so that we make sure that we have World Legacy combo. So now with World Crown and Graveyard, we can use our Scrap Recycler and our Scrap Golem to link together into a Lib, the World Key Blade Master here, activating its effect after the summon has resolved to be able to set our World Legacy Succession from the deck here. And we are actually not going to activate this effect right away for once. I know it's very weird, but this is how we get into the sprite combo. So now we're going to use our extra extender, in this case in the Derricrane, with our Scrap Wyvern to link those together into Sprite Sprind. So then now we can use Sprind's effect on summon here to be able to dump a level 2 monster from the deck to the graveyard. In this case, we are going to send actually a Sprite Blue. This is going to be our best Sprite starter because it gets us another monster and it just gets us into more extenders. So then now at this point, we can activate our World Legacy Succession. So we're just going to summon back our Blue and then activate his effect on summon, going to add a Jet to our hand here. So now we can use Jet from hand to be able to special summon and then add one of our 3 options here between Sprite Starter, Sprite Smashers, and Double Cross. It really just kind of depends on the matchup we're going up against. Honestly, Double Cross is going to be best against the tier matchup because you can just snatch a monster out of their graveyard as it's trying to resolve its effect, or even before it gets a chance to activate. It gives you an extra body to work with in your combos, and it's just great. Smashers, if you know that you need follow-up to help break a board, or Starter if you want to get your last sprite name out of the deck for an extra negate. So totally up to you. I think in this case, we're just going to go for the Double Cross and just kind of assume there. So then now at this point, what we do is we can take either the blue or the jet here with the Sprint going into our Gigantic. So then with Gigantic now, we'll just detach the jet. Doesn't really matter too much. So we are going to be locked into level, link, and rank 2s at this point, which is totally fine. So then with Gigantic, we're going to go ahead and summon out of our deck here. We have 2 different options. We can do either red or carrot. It just kind of depends on the matchup we're going up against, if they're more spell trap heavy or if they're more monster heavy. By default, I usually just go for red if I'm not entirely sure of the deck I'm up against, but red or carrot is always an option. So now with that out of the way, we can go ahead and link our Gigantic and our red together to go into a Sprite Elf. And then now with Sprite Elf on the field, we can actually use it to be able to revive from our graveyard our Sprite Red or Jet or whoever. It doesn't really matter. You just need an extra body on field, because now you're going to link these 2 off to be able to go into an IP Masquerena. So now you have an IP Masquerena that's being protected by Sprite Elf and a Live the World Key Blade Master that can act as extra disruption during your opponent's turn, a Sprite Double Cross, which is also more disruption, and then during your opponent's turn, during the main phase, you can use Elf's effect to be able to revive the red, or if you wanted an extra extender for later, you can summon back the blue to be able to search for that carrot, or you can even go for Jet to search one of your other spell traps if you wanted more plays that way. So ton of versatility in plays there, and this board actually ends up leaving with a lot of disruption. But yeah, there is, like I said, there are tons of opportunities for disruption here. This is what the going first board looks like on average. It can actually look a lot better depending on the hand that you open up, of course, but that is it for the first combo. Let me go ahead and shuffle up here. We'll do a test hand, and then I'll just show you kind of how the deck functions normally. Alrighty, so we're all shuffled up with the deck here. We're gonna go ahead and draw our top 5. This is already full combo with amazing extension. I actually really love this hand here. This opens us up for a ton of disruption and a ton of plays going first, and a ton of opportunity to break board even going blind second, which is just really, really good. So with this hand going first, we are actually going to open up with the Therion Disc Coliseum because we just want to get our Lily in hand right now. Also kind of helps bait out Ash Blossoms and just disruptions. So it's really nice to help kind of play around things a little bit there. All right, so then now, just like before, we're going to go ahead and summon our Scrap Recycler here, activating its effect, so that we can go ahead and send our Crystron Rosenix to grave. Actually, in this case, what's going to be better is sending the Machina Fortress to graveyard. No, this kind of sounds a little bit weird, but it will make sense here in just a second. So now we're going to use our Fortress to discard our Therion King Regulus from hand to summon himself. So now at this point, to actually just make sure that our plays are insulated, we can special summon our Therion Lilyboria, targeting our Regulus in graveyard to summon itself and equip Regulus. So now Lilyboria is its own negate, and we can also use it to search for another negate here in a second, which is just insane. So then now what we do here is we can link off our Recycler and our Fortress. I'm going to kind of speed through this part, not really explain too much here, just to give you an idea of what the combo looks like. So we're going to go for Wyvern there, going to set the Urgent Schedule, going to use Wyvern's effect, summon the Recycler, pop it, trigger its effect to summon the Golem from the deck here. All right, summon Golem, then finish resolving the effect, popping Urgent Schedule effect. In this case, we will stick with the Daracrane here. So now we can Golem effect, resummon the Recycler, Recycler Chainlink 1, Daracrane Chainlink 2, Daracrane summons, Recycler resolve, send World Crown to the graveyard here. I did actually kind of goof up with my positioning. The Daracrane, you definitely don't want directly into the Wyvern arrow, so we're just going to scoot that over there. Apologies for that. So we're going to link with the Golem and the Recycler here to go into the Lib. I mean, you definitely could play around it if you accidentally put the Daracrane there. It's not the end of the world. It's just a lot better if you don't. So then now here we can go ahead and use our Lib to set that World Legacy Succession once again. And don't forget, we do still have a negate protecting our board right now, which is just absolutely insane. So now World Legacy Succession, since we opened with Jet, we actually don't need to use Succession for our Sprite plays. So we can just kind of combo off here. So we're going to go World Legacy Succession, bring back Scrap Golem, bring back the Recycler again. We're going to use Recycler this time to be able to send our Ruin Force from deck to graveyard here. And then just as well while we're here, before I forget about it, I'm going to use Therion or Lily Borea's effect here, sending the Disc Coliseum from our field to the grave, so that way we can add the Therion Cross from our hand. Just before I forget that. So this gives us another monster negate, or we can use it as a monster banish. Either one is really, really good. As long as we control a Therion on field, but that's going to be really easy, and you'll see that in just a second here. Okay, so now what we're going to want to do at this point is we're going to want to go ahead, we're going to use our Daracrane and our Wyvern here to actually go into our Sprint. We do still want to use it, even if we're not using the Succession for the Revival, because we will go ahead and go Sprint to dump blue from our deck to the graveyard here. And this will make sense in just a second. So blue to the grave. And then now we can go ahead and summon Jet. We're going to activate Jet effect. Since we went for the Therion crossplay and we already have a negate with the Regulus and Borea combo on field right now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go for a Smashers. This is extra backup play because not only is it a banishing effect that we can use as a quick effect, it's another means to summon a Therion monster from our graveyard. So if they like Kaiju our Therion monster, we can revive it and then still have 2 negates off of our cross. So that is definitely good there. So then now what we're able to do here is we can take our Jet and our Sprint to overlay into our Gigantic. And we are at this point locked into Link, Rank, and level 2 monsters because we're going to use the Gigantic's effect here to detach and summon either a Carrot or Red from the deck, just which one you think you would prefer. So then now we can link 2 with the Red and the Gigantic here to be able to go into our Sprite Elf, using our Sprite Elf's effect to summon back our blue in this instance, so that we can use blue's effect to search our deck for the last Sprite monster here, getting our Carrot in this instance. So then from here we can link our Recycler and our Golem into an IP Masquerena, just getting us some extra preparation here. And actually what might be better is instead of using either the Golem or the Recycler, we use a blue along with it. So that way we can keep an Earth monster on field, and that'll make more sense here in just a second. So going in for the IP Masquerena there. So we'll summon our Carrot from hand here, looking like a pretty full board, and you will notice one thing, we have a lot of attributes on field. We have Dark, Light, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So we actually have the makings for a 5k Arrival Cybers right now, and then we still have extra disruptions on all this. So this is actually like one of the most insane hands I think I've ever actually seen with this deck. There's a ton of different things going on here. So of course, Therion Cross once again being a banish or a monster negate, Smashers being pretty much the same thing by being able to revive a Therion monster. You can revive Regulus, get another negate that way, or you can just use it to banish. Sprite Elf, we do have protecting our IP Masquerena in case they try to target it with anything, so then we know that we're good there. So then once again, we do have those same options of going into Nightmare Unicorn, going into Arrival Cyberset Ignister, which at this point would be an even bigger body, Apollosa, Underworld Goddess. We still have all those plays readily available, and we have a ton of resources to go off of here. We can even use or hold on to Sprite Smashers to use as follow-up, which is just absolutely awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this combo tutorial today. I think that's all I got for you. I just wanted to give you a brief taste of how the deck plays. You'll probably see me playing some duels with this at some point in the near future, at least I'm hoping. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really love this deck, and I'm really excited about this version of it. Patrick and I, like I mentioned last time, started this as a joke, and then it turned out to actually be a legitimate deck. But anyways, thank you guys again so much for joining us, and we will catch you all in the next video. And as always, remember, good fun. Have luck.